Coming up on Loyola News Chicago, we have coverage of the State of the University Address, find out what's under the Lakeshore campus, and women are being represented in a big way. You won't want to miss this.
From the Convergence Studio in the School of Communication, this is Loyola News Chicago.
Hello, and welcome to Loyola News Chicago. I'm Katrina Lim.
And I'm Jessica Edwards. Here's the news. Loyola's President, Father Garanzini, has delivered his last State of the University address. Julie Williams was in the packed room to hear his plans for the university and how people feel about him resigning.
Father Garanzini gave his last State of the University address here today at Casbier Hall at Loyola's Water Tower campus. The address included his financial plan for Loyola moving forward, and Garanzini reports that the university will see a modest surplus and that new student applications should be plenty.
We're in fairly good shape still, at least I'm going to leave it that way. It's up to the next people to take care of it. We're doing fine. We have the FY15 budget, the one we're in now, is on track, and it's going to yield a modest surplus. We topped 25,000 first-time apps for the freshman class. You've been very nice to me, so thank you.
We asked audience members how they felt about what Father addressed and any sentiments they feel about him leaving.
I think we'll be just fine. I think we've got a lot of strong leaders at different positions in the university, and I think the search committee will be effective in finding a new leader.
He's leaving the university in good hands, and he's really being supportive to the students.
It's good that he's not going to let himself or the university stagnate.
Now, even though Father Garanzini is stepping down from the presidency, he says you can still expect to see him around campus. The university will finalize their new decision for a new president this coming summer. Julie Williams, Loyola News Chicago.
Garanzini has served as Loyola's president for 14 years. He'll transition to the role of chancellor, where he'll help advise new faculty members and will also be in charge of Jesuit higher education worldwide. The College of Arts and Sciences has a new dean. Father Thomas Regan has served since June. Now he has been named the dean of Loyola's largest college, and the announcement was made on Tuesday in an email from Provost John Pellicero to the student body. Father Regan will also continue to teach philosophy and serve as the academic dean of the St. Joseph College Seminary.
Chicago recently re-elected Mayor Rahm Emanuel. He won the runoff election with 55% of the vote. If you have something to say to the newly elected Mayor Rahm Emanuel, you might want to start tweeting. Red Eye Chicago is encouraging Twitter users to chat with him using the hashtag #HeyRahm. Most tweets mention real issues the city is facing, and some are using the 140 characters to ask more pointed questions. After searching through Twitter, it appears top concerns include the city's infrastructure, schools, and green initiatives. Loyola students have plenty of opinions on what Mayor Emanuel's second term should look like. Lane Davis went to Loyola's Water Tower campus to see what advice students have for the mayor.
With the recent re-election of Mayor Rahm Emanuel, we asked Loyola students what they would like to see improved during his second term.
I think it would be really cool if Rahm would put solar trash cans in. We already have them at Loyola, and I think it's a great idea to save energy and use solar power. And
I think more investment in resources into the public school system, like education is a big thing, and also less gang violence on the streets.
Basically, everyone in the city uses the buses, the CTA system, so I think continuing to improve, CTA stations.
I'm concerned about the education system, the Chicago public school system, with all the overcrowding and all the schools that have been closed. I understand that they needed some change, but I wonder what they're going to do about that.
Between education, the CTA, and green initiatives, Rahm Emanuel has a lot to consider in the next few years. Lane Davis, Loyola News Chicago.
Tuesday's election was the city's first mayoral runoff in Chicago history. According to election officials, the total turnout was around 40%.
The nation's largest airport construction project has affected more people than expected. The newest expansions at O'Hare are bringing more disadvantages than benefits to its neighbours. Adriana Nzueta reports on the latest concern.
The village of Bensonville sits right next to O'Hare Airport and is the area with the most complaints since the expansion. The newest runways have expanded to the intersection of Irving Park Road and York Road located in Bensonville. Aircraft noise has increased significantly since the expansion, according to residents near this area.
It is what it is. I guess moving would be our option since there's nothing we can really do with the O'Hare expansion. Overall, I'm not happy with it, and I wish I can show you how low that plane is flying, right to my right.
Residents of these homes say that airplanes are flying lower and causing vibrations resulting from the change in flight pattern. As a way to reduce the noise level, the Chicago Department of Aviation has been providing affected neighborhoods with insulation, including window modifications and storm door treatments. The residents of Heritage Square subdivision in Bensonville are among those eligible for the sound insulation.
You know, it really made a difference, the new windows being installed and the door being installed.
Almost every house in the Heritage Square neighborhood in Bensonville has received soundproof upgrades. New windows and doors in many homes have cost Chicago's Department of Aviation about $20 million. According to Chicago's Department of Aviation, more than 39 complaints were made in January, which is about 6,000 more than the previous month. Aircraft noise and frequency of operations are among the most common concerns, and that won't change anytime soon. O'Hare has plans to add 3 more runways in the future, making living conditions even noisier for nearby residents. Adriana Unzueta, Loyola News, Chicago.
Eligible residents living near the Spacey Airport can apply for sound insulation with the O'Hare Noise Compatibility Commission.
April is Autism Awareness Month. Services for students with disabilities will join people from across the globe to promote autism awareness. April 2 marks World Autism Awareness Day. From April 2 to April 16, the Damon Student Center will participate in Loyola's first Light It Up Blue. Damon Center will be lit blue in honor of the millions of individuals and families affected by autism around the world. Damon Cinema is hosting a film screening for autism awareness next Thursday. The movie is called Autism, the Musical. And want to see Loyola University and its beautiful campuses but don't have the time? Well, you're in luck thanks to this new virtual tour. When you first click on the virtual, the tour guide gives brief introductions on most of Loyola's dorm buildings. One of the features of the tour includes a 360-degree view of dorm rooms and classrooms, including our own Convergence studio. If you need a bird's eye view of Lakeshore Campus or Water Tower Campus, maps are provided in the top right corner. Clicking on a building on the map will take you directly to that building. And do you think the new virtual tour accurately represents Loyola? Tell us what you think on Twitter at Loyola TV.
Loyola students are uncovering the rich history of Rogers Park right under their feet. Lauren Smith tells us about one underground landmark right here on campus.
Oh, there's petroleum jelly here too. Oh, so how's it labeled?
In the archaeology lab on Loyola's Lakeshore campus, students are discovering artifacts that date all the way back to the late 1800s. This gives students an idea of what life was like at that time.
We're working backwards in a sense, where we're taking this result end product and trying to figure out where it came from and what it meant for the population as a whole.
You may be surprised to know that these artifacts were found in a landfill under Hallis Field, which is just a short walk away from the lab itself. But students can only get their hands on new artifacts when the land is exposed during construction. Loyola archaeologist Daniel Amick has been collecting artifacts from the site for the past 20 years. He says this landfill is a direct reflection of the early Rogers Park and Edgewater communities.
There was no citywide sanitation system, and so there were individuals who would come and collect your rubbish, and they would get what they could out of it that was useful. And what was not useful, then they would deliver to a nearby dump.
Now, according to Dr. Amick, underneath me is anywhere between 18 inches and 3 feet of landfill. This space starts at Loyola's parking garage and stretches all the way over to buildings Dumbach and Cudahy, and even underneath Loyola's steam plant. Now, because this area is constantly disrupted during construction, this begs the question, are there toxins in this landfill And should the residents in this area be concerned?
Loyola chemist Dr. Elena Fitch specializes in environmental toxins. She says because of the landfill's age, this site is not a major threat to Loyola residents.
The older the landfill, the less material is coming out of it. I would not myself pick that as my major environmental concern.
Dr. Amick also doubts the site is a threat to the community. In fact, whenever the landfill under Hallis Field is exposed, Dr. Amick and his students try to take that opportunity to get one step closer to the past. Lauren Smith, Loyola News Chicago.
The last time Hallis Field was under construction was last semester.
And coming up on Loyola News Chicago, students have been winning victories in more than just sports.
And the money in your pocket may be overdue for a makeover. Stay with us.
Miss? 多少钱一碗？一碗 just 一碗。我和你 I'll pay you money. I've got this money here. Please take the money, please. See? 把他带走。
Another Loyola student is making records and clocking up achievements along the way. Maria Shakowski has more in sports.
Thanks, Jessica. Loyola senior Sam Penzenstadler is already known for being fast. Penzenstadler placed third in his heat for the men's 800 meter in the Stanford Invitational this past weekend. In the men's 1500 meter, he clocked in at 3:44 and finished runner-up in his section. With this time, he holds the fastest time in the Valley and fifth fastest in the nation. However, he had more accomplishments this weekend than just running fast. He was named the Missouri Valley Conference Scholar Athlete of the Week for the period of March 30th to April 5th. This is Penzenstadler's first scholarly honor of the track and field season, but fifth of his career. Penzenstadler maintains a 3.303 grade point average and will graduate with a degree in mathematics. Loyola softball season is underway and the Lady Ramblers are looking to rack up some more wins. The Ramblers split a doubleheader against Northern Illinois Huskies Wednesday evening. The Ramblers fell to the Huskies in the first game, 3-1. Senior Jessica Balzano had the run for the Ramblers, as well as 3 team hits and an RBI. However, in the second game, the Ramblers topped the Huskies 6-5 in 9 innings. Senior Terrence Schaefer led the Ramblers with 3 hits, a run, and an RBI. The Ramblers take the field this weekend in a 3-game series at Missouri State, beginning with a doubleheader on Saturday. Spring is finally here, and that means it's time to head outdoors. Julie Williams shows us how a pair of Loyola student roommates use the warm weather to up their fitness game.
Running may not be everyone's cup of tea, but for Loyola roommates Katie Conrath and Sheila Donahue, it's what keeps them motivated to stay in shape.
It's really mainly a dedication thing. You really have to be consistent and run every day and like train on your off days, do strength. It's a really big commitment.
I would want to go to the gym, but I didn't really have the motivation. But if I have something that I'm like working towards, it made me more likely to go to the gym and actually work out. So
Conrath and Donahue may live together, but they don't train together. Both women make it a goal to run at least 4 times a week.
I tried to just do it myself and figure out my own training, but I figured I'm really bad at that because I don't necessarily love running. I just know like I feel good after it. So usually then I would start being like, okay, I should probably look something up. And once I had something to follow, I was more like determined to follow it, and I'd write it down for every day. And
both Conrath and Donahue say they were active in high school, but fell behind in their training once college started. Finishing a race gives them a sense of accomplishment they can't find anywhere else.
I saw my mom and my other brother they held up a sign. They made signs that said like, "Go Katie, like you can do it." And that was at mile 11, and it was just seeing that made me think that I could really actually finish the whole race.
The more like miles you can do, the better you feel that you actually did that.
Despite the cold winter weather, Conrath and Donahue made a point to stick to their training schedules. Warmer weather means the two will be able to head outdoors to continue their training. Julie Williams, Loyola News Chicago.
Both Conrath and Donahue have completed multiple races during their college careers and are currently training for more. Chicago Blackhawk fans may be on the edge of their seats this upcoming weekend. Although the Blackhawks have clinched a playoff spot, they may be playing as a wildcard team. Upcoming games against the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche will determine their playoff rank. Regular season play ends Saturday, April 11th, and the Stanley Cup playoffs begin April 15th. Even if you're not a hockey fan, you can still cheer for Chicago as the Bulls have also secured a playoff spot. They are currently ranked 4th, but they have enough games remaining in regular season play that their placement can change. The NBA playoffs will begin Saturday, April 18th. This 12-year-old boy may not be anyone important to you. To fans of March Madness, he's the 12-year-old everyone wishes they could be. Over 11 million people competed this year in ESPN's March Madness Bracket Challenge. 12-year-old Sam Holtz of Lake Zurich, Illinois, tied for first in the challenge. His bracket was near perfect and good enough to qualify him to win ESPN's $20,000 Best Buy gift card and a trip to the 2015 Maui Invitational. Unfortunately, ESPN said Holtz was ineligible for this prize because of his age. The winner must be 18 years old, and Holtz entered using his father's email address. Luckily, ESPN isn't letting him win without nothing. The Chicago Tribune reports that SportsCenter offered to let Holtz anchor an episode of the show. This is the first year I haven't filled out a bracket, and I'm a little glad I did. It would have been embarrassing to be beaten by a 12-year-old.
Well, I feel bad for him. I'm sure he wanted the money,
yeah,
the gift card.
And the gift
you could
card.
always anchor this show.
True.
So thanks, Maria.
No problem.
You've heard about Loyola's sports championships, but let's hear about an academic one now. Loyola's debate team is heading to a national debating championship in Anchorage, Alaska. Pictured on the right are team members Lucia Bennett and Dara Davis. Dara competed in a match last fall in Oxford, England, but missed the final round by 1 point. Their coach, Professor David Romanelli, says this national tournament is like March Madness for debate. More than 50 schools are competing this weekend in this 3-day long event.
A couple of weeks ago, we brought you a story about how hard it is for students to get to grocery stores. Well, a new store just opened up right on campus. Students now have access to the Go Grocer store that sits right next to the university bookstore. The Go Grocer is open from 8 to 12 Monday through Thursday, and it's open till 1 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. On top of being easily accessible, Go Grocer also accepts Rambler Bucks, making it the more convenient. Be sure to check it out on your next walk through campus. The Sabre Dipping Company is recalling 30,000 cases of its classic hummus because of its possible risk of listeria contamination. After a routine inspection, officials learned about the risk of contamination in the pre-packaged product. The Department of Agriculture and Rural Development then informed the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, who recalled it off the shelves. An employee at Nina's Cafe in the Corboy Law Centre told us that they had not been informed of the recall. They are still selling Sabre hummus in roasted garlic flavour. So far, its classic flavour is the only flavour affected by the possible contamination.
When will there be a woman on the $20 bill? Well, it might come sooner than you think. Andrew Jackson is the current face you see on the bill, but a group called W20 is pushing for a woman to be on the $20 bill by 2020. In 5 years, the face you may see might be Eleanor Roosevelt, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, or Wilma Mankiller. The final 4 potential candidates were chosen by more than 250,000 voters in an online poll for 15 famous American women. The year 2020 marks the 100th anniversary of women being granted the right to vote.
Well, so who would you like to see get the...
Any of them would be fine. Yeah. Some girl power up in here would be really
great.
We
need. I think Rosa Parks would be a really good one anyway. So coming up, find out how one Illinois couple is getting their wedding completely paid for.
And in Loyola News Extra, see how one Loyola student is creating her own success.
Miss? 多少钱一碗？一碗 just 一碗。我和你 I'll pay you money. I've got this money here. Please take the money, please. See?
把他带走。
While some students are trying to find jobs after graduation, others already have some. Hope Salmon is here with today's Loyola News Extra.
Thanks, Katrina. I thought I had a busy schedule, but after talking to this Loyola junior, it seems that I have it pretty easy. She runs a blog, interns for a fashion designer, and is a public relations intern for Cosmopolitan magazine. Oh, and she's only a junior at Loyola.
A website that started as a class assignment turned into a blog that has helped Molly Tullis get her name in front of major fashion agencies and potential employers.
I'm so lucky that, you know, they always say, like, find something that you love doing and then find a way to make money on it, make money off of it. And luckily I found that.
Molly landed internships in New York and London with the help of a successful website. It has done so well that companies are now paying her to advertise their products on her blog.
It is not a salary. It's definitely not like I can do this for a career, but it definitely does allow me to be in a position where I can do this and like not have to waitress or, you know, do any other minimum wage jobs.
Molly's website and following continue to grow. She has recently put together a team of 4 interns to keep up with the blog's popularity.
Some students think that school is preparation for some future life, but through her behavior, Molly showed that she is in life now. And she just really pounced on the opportunity.
Molly has gained a lot of experience in a short amount of time and has learned not to undervalue the amount of work it takes to be successful.
Everybody kind of looks at like my resume or my website and they think like, oh my gosh, like you're so lucky, you're so successful, but they don't realize like how many nights I only slept for 2 hours or all the work that goes into making those connections and, you know, writing content for the website and things like that.
Through her internships and digital footprint, Molly has made a lot of connections and already has standing job offers for when she graduates next year.
Her blog has been up for almost a year now, and she has more than 300 posts. She also has more than 2,000 Twitter followers. With graduation just around the corner, I wish I kept up with my blog.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't have nearly as many followers as her. She makes me feel totally unaccomplished, but good job for her.
I know, right? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Hope.
Now time for this week's In Case You Missed It. Signs have been popping up all over Los Angeles reading "No Kardashians Parking Anytime." The artist responsible calls himself Plastic Jesus and said these signs are intended to criticize the media and us as consumers. Madame Tussauds in New York City has unveiled its new Pharrell Williams wax figure. The figure was styled after one of his most memorable looks, featuring his oversized hat from the 2014 Grammy Awards. And it's a marriage made in the fast food heaven. An Illinois couple named Joel Berger and Ashley King are accepting Burger King's offer to pay for all their wedding expenses and provide gifts. The couple will wed this summer in Jacksonville, Illinois. So they're quite coincidental, their names, and I heard as well they've known each other since kindergarten.
Oh, that's very cute.
Yeah.
They were meant to be together.
They've always been Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's our news for today. Thanks for watching.
Our own Matt Vallow helped capture this stormy afternoon on video. From the cold rain to a gloomy 70 degrees, that's Chicago for you.
And don't forget to tune in next week.